Welcome to Conversations with Malik podcast show. Coming to you from New York, baby. I'm glad to have you and thank you all who are listening or watching this show. This podcast is about the stories of transformation of regular everyday people in the struggle and pain of life. Everyone has a testimony. We all have survived the darkness. Now let's talk about how we got to the light so we can help our brothers and sisters who still haven't overcome their demons. But guess what? We all have devils on different levels. So through conversations, we use the tools of insight to light the path of hope. Let's have a chat and start running from our issues. If we live through it, then talking about it probably won't kill us. That's what we're doing. Talking, crying, looking inward so we can grow outward is the theme of the show. The caterpillar transforming into the butterfly is the goal and purpose of this podcast. When you talk about you, I learn about me. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel, so we can cut through the fog of despair into the hope of today. Welcome to Conversations with Malik. Before we start today's show, I would really like you to check us out on our website, convoswithmalik.com, convoswithmalik.com. Listen, follow us at our Facebook page, Conversations with Malik. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at @ConWMalik. I would like to ask that you please like us, share us, subscribe, all right, and spread the word, man. We're doing some great things up here. I don't know if people been checking out the show and the interviews. We got a lot of great interviews with people, okay? And I'm urging anybody to who's logging on to just I'm asking the question, what are limitations? What are limitations? What are limits? All right. So if you have a definition of what a limit is, I would like to talk to you about what are limitations. And I'll start out reading the definition that's here in the dictionary. One of the definitions of limitations is a limiting condition, restrictive, weakness, lack of capacity. That's deep. Inability or handicap. So a limitation could be a handicap. Handicaps don't just have to be physical. Handicaps could also be spiritual and mental and emotional. Another definition of it is something that limits, a limit, a bound, a restriction. That's powerful. The act of limiting, the state of being limited. So, what are limitations? Can I identify the limitations in my personal life? Do I see my personal limitations? The areas where I fall short, the areas in which I'm bound, that I have a weakness, like it talks about the lack of capacity, the areas in which I'm restricted are limitations. But I argue that the root of all limitations are actually fear, and fear is an illusion, which make all limitations illusions. And so if I have a limitation on myself and I'm telling myself inwardly that I can't do something, and watch it, because see, fear doesn't always tell me out loud that I can't do something. A lot of our limitations have been placed on us through our families, through the people who we've grown up around, through me hearing other people talk about their limitations. Limitations are also shaped in the mind by the community that I grow up in. What I see people accomplishing or not. My parents set in motion in my mind my first set of limitations as far as what's possible and what's not possible. I want you to follow me here. See, I'm coming on Facebook. I'm not coming on Facebook, and we're not doing this show and invested all of this money in this show for me to just floss and be big dog. This is really about saving lives. We need to really get down to the root and cause and conditions and really expose what's going on with us. But I find that not all of us know what's plaguing us. And we're running on this hamster wheel of life, not getting anywhere and really not understanding why not. So let me tell you, limitations are placed upon me in the house that I grow up in first. My home is the first environment. For every human being, the home is the first environment. And in that environment, as I observe and as I grow up, I get an idea about what people are capable of doing and what people aren't capable of doing. Case in point, if you look at maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, her idea about what's possible and what's not possible is going to be different in most cases than the child that's being born in those same projects that Jay-Z's from. Candace, I'm talking about individuals and as a people. I'm starting out with the individuals because then I'm going to show how it affects us as a community, because our people is made up of a group of individuals. So check out how Blue Ivy has a different idea about what's possible and what's not possible than the same children who are being born in the community in Marcy Projects that her father is from. See, dysfunction is the framework of limitations. When I see failure upon failure in the lives of the people, maybe in my family or in the families that surround me, I start to look at failure as normal. See, I gotta really watch how I define myself based upon who I'm around, where I'm from, who I've grown up with, and what my resources are or are not. Because what begins to happen is, as I grow up, these ideas and concepts follow me into my adult life, and they shape the decisions that I make day in and day out. All the root of all decisions are based in what I think I'm capable of doing and not doing. That's before I get to faith. That's before I get to belief. What are my limits? And what are limits? What are limits? Tell me what a limit is. What's my idea of limits? Because the dictionary version talks about how it's a limiting condition, a restrictive weakness, a lack of capacity, an inability or handicap. Am I emotionally handicapped? Am I mentally and spiritually limited? Because if I believe in God and I believe that God is all powerful, why do I doubt what I'm capable of doing and not doing? Why do I doubt when I see other people accomplishing things that I want to accomplish? Why do I think I can't do it? Talk to me. Who set that up? Who says it can't be done? You know, there's a saying that something can't be done until somebody does it, right? And why can't I be the person that does it? Why can't I be the person to accomplish it? Why am I believing the narrative in my mind? See, and that's why it's important for me to start out every day as a zero, right? Because when I start out the day as a zero, I place myself in position for the universe and for the spirit of intuition to fill me up with new ideas. And when a new idea comes in my head or an opportunity is presented to me, whether at work or in business, when fear creeps in, I need to ask myself one question. Malik, what are you afraid of and why are you afraid? I need to question why I'm afraid. Yes, it has been passed down, Candace. Candace said maybe because it is something that has been passed down for centuries by our ancestors and parents. Yes, that's true. And also what has been passed down is that beyond all odds, I can accomplish anything. See, that's also been passed down. But what is it that I'm looking at? What is it that I'm identifying with? What is it that my mind gravitates to? See, it's easy to run. I want you to, if you haven't already, please go on convoswithmalik.com. I did an episode on running away, and it's powerful. So what are limits? Limits are illusions of the mind. The illusions that are like the boogie monster that never revealed itself. It's a self-centered fear that I'm not going to be able to accomplish something, that something is bad is going to happen, and it's not based in any facts. How can I be afraid of something that I haven't tried? How can I believe a limitation if I haven't tried to do it yet? Limits are ghosts. Limits are boogie monsters that doesn't want me to reach who and what I am. That doesn't want me to find the greatness that lives inside of me. That doesn't want me to get in touch with the true person that God put me here to be. Whenever I believe a limitation on myself, are you believing the limitations? Because limitations are lies. I think the definition of limitation should be a lie. I think they should change the definition in the dictionary to limitations are lies. Because I've seen, so one of the definitions is handicap, but I've seen people with handicaps achieve great things. I've seen people who couldn't walk. I've seen people who couldn't pick up a pen, write books. Limitations are lies. So am I believing the lie? And can I see the truth in the lie? Am I limiting myself based on what I seen my mother accomplish or not accomplish? Am I limiting myself based on what I saw my father accomplish or not accomplish, or what my brothers and sisters were able to do or not do, or by the people in my community, what they were able to accomplish or not accomplish? Why can't I own a tech company? Why can't I have a chain of restaurants? Why can't I open up a chain of automobile stores? Why can't I have a successful online company? Why can't I rise to be supervisor and to be CEO at my job or vice president? Why can't I be a partner at the firm? Why can't I? Who said that I can't? And if those limits are in my mind, I need to question it. On what merit am I afraid? What reasons do I have to be afraid? On what prior experience should I believe the lie in my life that I should be afraid, that I can't find happiness, that I can't be in a successful relationship, that I can't own a home, that I can't drive a nice car, that my children can't go to nice schools? What lies am I believing about myself, and where are those lies coming from? And what substantiates those lies that are thereby limiting me? Come on. We're going to talk. This is what we do on Conversations with Malik. We're going to talk truth. What regrets am I living with? What can I look at right now in my life and say, I didn't take the time and I didn't take the chance to try to do this or that. I didn't take the chance to try to open that business. I didn't take the chance on that relationship. I knew that sister loved me. Why I didn't give my all to him? I knew that brother had my best interests at heart. Why I didn't love him like he should have been loved? Why am I always so afraid? I think I'm tough, but I'm really not. Because if I was so tough, I wouldn't put limits on myself. And just look at your own life. That's all I gotta do. Ask the hard questions. If you're 35, look at the past 35 years. Or just look at last year. What didn't I accomplish that I set out to accomplish? Why do I start out doing something and then halfway through fall by the wayside? Why do I make decisions and resolutions and a month into it, I'm not doing it anymore? Why? Because in the subconscious, there are limits that are set in like programs. And I'm telling you, we're subconsciously programmed about what we're capable of doing and not doing based on external conditions. That's why if you're looking outward for the solution, you'll never find it. Because you want to know where the solution is? The solution is deep down within. That's where the creator is. You can keep reading all these self-help books you want to. You can go to all of the spiritual retreats with your church. And those things are good. Please go on them things. Please read spiritual books. Please listen to spiritual podcasts. But please listen to people like me. That's good. That'll help. But guess what? That's not the answer. Those things point to the answer. And that's what I am. I'm a servant. I'm a servant of the better way. And my job is just to possibly say something like what was said to me when I was in my dark days. Listen, I've been through some dark days, y'all. I just didn't arrive here at Conversations with Malik. I didn't have shit. I was on the streets. I was getting high. I was robbing. I was stealing. I was running from who and what I was. I was in a lot of pain out there. I didn't just arrive on Plymouth Rock. I hurt loved ones. I destroyed broken dreams. There's people that's not alive anymore. I let people down because I was trying to be something that I wasn't. Why? Because I had limitations on me. And I could cry just talking about it. I lived in fear. I lived the lie and I couldn't see the truth in the lie. And you want to know what the lie was? The lie was that I was going to die by the time I was 25. The lie was that I wasn't going to make it. The lie was that I couldn't be great. And guess who was telling me to lie? Now, let me tell you, there's people that'll be in your life that'll tell you lies. They'll tell you lies, but guess who was telling me the biggest lie? It was me. It was me. It was Malik. And I didn't even know I was telling it to myself. I believed who and what I can be based on what I saw. And that's why prayer and meditation is so important. That's why having a new experience. I'm glad, brother J. Cole, man. I'm glad. If you haven't listened to J. Cole's album, please listen to his album. He's talking about the solution to addiction is meditation. And I know, oh, here go brother Malik, he's about to get deep again. And when I talk about meditation, I'm talking about having a new experience. I'm talking about getting still and really taking time to get in touch with oneself. Guys, you gotta take time away from the kids for a little while. They'll suck you dry. I love my kids, but they parasites. I'll die for my kids, but I was a parasite too. All kids are parasites. They all are. We talk about definitions. The definitions of kids should be parasites. Huh? You don't talk to me. Y'all know kids are parasites. Take some time away from your husband, your wife, your significant other. Take some time away from work. Make sure you have quality time to actually get in touch with yourself. And I know this isn't popular. I know this isn't the cool thing to talk about. I know I'm not on here at some party on Facebook Live with some superstars in the background. I know some of y'all would rather see that. I get it. You know, was this big head black dude talking about trying to get all deep, thinking he know everything. I get it. But let me tell you something. I found happiness through letting go of all of the things I thought I knew about who and what I was. I had to recreate myself based on a new idea of who and what Malik is. And so my belief in Malik began to change during the process of letting go of all of the things that I thought made me who I was and allowing the new process of what God and the universe was doing to me, creating a new person. Now, the only thing that happens is that with us, we stop the process of change because the process of change is painful. So we don't allow ourselves to go through the process. So we never see the other side. And we do that time and again. See, you got to allow yourself to get reference points. Let me tell you what the process of change is like. The process of change is like when a reptile sheds its skin. When a reptile sheds its skin and is shedding, it has to do it in order to grow. You ever see a snake? A snake has to shed its skin in order to grow. If it doesn't shed its skin, a couple of things will happen. It will suffocate. It won't be able to eat. It won't get oxygen. And then it won't grow. And in the wild, whoever's bigger stands the better chance of living because they can hunt the ones that aren't as big. But see, the difference between us and reptiles is that they don't have a choice. We have a choice. We have the ability to choose. So when we're going through our process of shedding all of the things that aren't good for us, what we do is we don't allow ourselves to finish that process. See? And then, Unlike the snake who would actually die physically, some of us die physically, but we die in other areas, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. We die to our gifts and dreams because we don't shed away what's holding us back and keeping us from growing. See, you gotta allow yourself to go through the process of change. Allow yourself to go through it. And I would like to say, not just say go through it, I would like to say allow yourself to grow through the process of change. I know Yaya called. Grow through it. And it's through growing through it that you'll get bigger. Just like the snake does after he sheds. And after the snake sheds its skin, not only does it grow bigger, but it has a new set of skin, and it's bright and it's shiny. And that's what will happen to you if you allow yourself to shed. Shed the old life. Let it go. What is it doing for you anyway? What purpose does the old life of pain serve? But I get it. See, known bondage is preferred over unknown freedom. Known bondage is preferred over unknown freedom. So I'd rather stay in the prison that I'm in. Why? Because it's comfortable and I'm familiar with it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We stay in the prison because, hey, man, it might be painful, but I'm familiar with this pain. But to let go of this and go into the unknown is scary. Why? Because it's based on limitations, and limitations are lies. And lies prevent us from being who God wants us to be. And that's the biggest trick. The devil, Shaitan, the enemy, the inner me, whatever you want to call it, that's the biggest trick is playing on you. It doesn't allow you to become who God wants you to be. But let me tell you something. I really found myself. And you want to know how you can get to love yourself? Start by letting go of all of the old things that you think you need. And it's going to be painful, like the snake when it's shedding its skin. But on the other side of pain is going to be a permanent happiness. And when I find permanent happiness, I find peace and serenity. And peace and serenity is the platform to tranquility. And when I have tranquility, that gives me soundness of mind. And you want to know what soundness of mind leads to? It leads to love of oneself. And when I love myself, I don't believe the lie. I'm now living in the truth. And at that point, there are no limits. And speaking of love, Brother Malik from Conversations with Malik loves you. Please remember to follow us on convoswithmalik.com. Like us, share us, and comment. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.